who was going through breast cancer and was trying everything alternative that she could find. And she found Spooky2, and she asked me if I would help her apply it. And so I learned the program, and then she went away, and I was able to use the Spooky2 on myself and address some systemic parasites that I have been dealing with for several years. And I have become fascinated with quantum mechanics and entanglement. And I just love everything about Spooky2 and everything it can do. We've had a lot of amazing results, and I'd love to tell some of those stories maybe at the end if we have some time after the Q&A. I want you to know that at first I was very overwhelmed by the software and the equipment, more by the equipment. But after using it, I amplified my knowledge, and since then it's become more natural. So if it's difficult for you now, don't worry. The more you use it, the easier it will get. So we have a disclaimer. I'm a practitioner, not a doctor, nor am I licensed to practice any medicine. This is for experimental and educational purposes only, and there will be no diagnosis made nor prescriptions given. Each practitioner can certainly assess the state of holistic health and make recommendations based on their own expertise. So here's what we'll be going over today. First, I'm going to go through how Spooky2 can miraculously help so many people in so many areas, how it works, and how I like to explain how it works. We're going to go over the theory, the working theory of Spooky2 biofeedback, what equipment is required to run the biofeedback. We'll talk to the XM generator, which is the OG generator, the original generator, and the Generator Pro, which is the Generator X Pro or GX Pro.
We have the Generator X Pro for the fast biofeedback scans. There are 4 types of biofeedback scans. We're going to go through the hardware setup, TENS placement, the software for biofeedback, sample digitizer scan, pulse scan, the other scans that we have, and then running the biofeedback scan and reverse lookup. And at the end, we'll do a little question and answer. All right, you guys in the chat, let me know if you can see. Yes, I can definitely send you a copy of the presentation, guys. Great, thanks, Glenn. All right, are you guys seeing this frequency calibration slide that I have up right now? Doesn't look like it. Interestingly enough, they are not driving together. There we go. All right, let's close the chat for a second. Get back to my presentation. Okay, so frequency recalibration. The body functions as an intricate electromagnetic system, with each cell acting like a tiny battery that carries a specific voltage. When you experience injury, illness, or stress, some of those cellular batteries lose their charge, and that disrupts the body's balance. Spooky2 works by delivering precise electrical signals that help restore the balance and recharge your cells and promote faster healing. It actually enhances your body's natural ability to recover and function optimally. The human body is a magnificent quantum physics phenomenon. All right, how biofeedback works. Make sure this is changing over here. There we go. Bueno, whether or not you're healthy, you may not fully understand what's happening inside your body, whether you're healthy or not. Biofeedback is a method that can help you comprehend the process within your body and identify potential conditions to assist you in targeting and eliminating pathogens. All of this can be accomplished in just a few minutes with the GX Pro, and you don't need to have any blood tests or have any needles. You can do this from the comforts of your own home. It is necessary to run the remote 11-day detox before doing the biofeedback. That is one important point that I will touch upon again, because the 11-day remote DNA detox detoxes your terrain and makes your body more susceptible to the right frequencies. It's also peeling back those layers of the onion. The biofeedback is a powerful tool to listen to your body and find the most beneficial and suitable frequencies for it. The technology is designed to understand health and identify frequencies affecting your well-being. It works by transmitting frequency sweeps into the body. During the sweeps, the frequency interact with pathogens that cause a stress response, and that is what can be measured. By analyzing these responses, the program actually identifies the most effective frequencies to help the body target and eliminate harmful organisms, ultimately optimizing your health. After the scan, we save the results as a custom program, and we can perform a reverse lookup to give us a general idea of some potential conditions that may be in the scan. So it is important to note, just waiting for, there we go. It is important to note that the DNA terrain detox is done previous to the first biofeedback scan. If you do the biofeedback scan without the 11-day terrain detox, you're probably going to get most signals for the most common bacteria and pathogens, intestinal toxins, and things that are found in the system. So the terrain protocol removes those common toxins, heavy metals, chemicals, pathogens, molds, funguses, systemic toxins, intestinal toxins, common parasites from the body, while simultaneously supporting the liver and the kidneys in the detoxification process. And so that DNA detox is important to enhance receptivity for future treatments. The DNA, okay, so that little remote in the picture is actually the remote that the DNA sample will go into. So next we're going to talk about, it just has a little delay for the slide change, the basic requirements to do a biofeedback. So here's what you'll need to get started. Gen X Pro or XM generator, TENS cables, the TENS pads or the wands, and the GX Pro power cord, obviously, and the USB connector to connect the GX to the computer, and of course the computer that's running the Spooky2 software. In addition to the equipment, to run the biofeedback, you'll need a DNA sample, so a fingernail, because the DNA is encased in the keratin of your fingernail. We can apply frequencies to your fingernail that will immediately be implemented on your body's DNA through the theory of entanglement. And okay, so let's go to the next slide. All right, the XM Generator Pro. So, sorry, the XM Generator. This is not the Pro. This is the original generator. Not only is it a complete Rife machine, it has infinite number of applications. It's used in radionics to eliminate pathogens. It's used to make colloidal silver. The XM Gen is used in university biology labs to study pathogens, cells, and frequencies. They're also used in the music field and the field of electronics for research. The XM Gen limits to about 5 megahertz, but with harmonics, it can be applied to higher frequencies as well. All database programs and presets are within the XM's limits unless it specifically states for a Gen X Pro. Most people run database programs on XM. I actually use it for all of my remote programs and my colloidal silver, and I also use it to operate my Spooky plasma. But for biofeedback scans and running their scans results, I actually prefer the Gen X Pro because it does quicker scans. We're just waiting for my slideshow to catch up. Okay, Spooky2 scans record changes in the electrical signal. So it's not actually reading your body's physiological response. It is looking for frequencies that resonate with the pathogen. And when that happens, there's a subtle change in the electrical pattern, and that will indicate a hit on the generator, and that will be detected and recorded on the scan. The Generator X Pro detects resonance by monitoring the shape of the signal. So like I said, it's not looking for physiological responses like heartbeat or perspiration. It's looking for direct physical resonance. When resonance is found, the signal actually changes, and the program records how the electrical signals change. A brief change shows that a hit was detected. So number one, the Gen X Pro detects electrical signals that travel very fast, and two connections use, and so you can also use the tens or the wands to connect for the biofeedback. Tens are going to be used for a more precise area, and the wands are for a more general reading of the body. All right, types of scans. So the GX Pro can do several types of scans. The sample did like I said, the GX Pro is recommended for localized scans. It's also very fast and has other capabilities. There's the sample digitizer, which you can do biofeedback on. That takes about 48 hours or until the sample dries up. The XM generator scans are an hour or more. The GX Pro are like 10 minutes max. And we have Scalar, which we can also do biofeedback on. And you just need a digitizer, scalar digitizer for your scalar to do that. We're not going to go through that today. I don't actually have the scalar capabilities yet. And you can also do biofeedback with the pulse scan. That's suitable for longer biofeedback, since it uses the heart rate to monitor for the pulse. Okay, so now we're just going to briefly look at the biofeedback hardware setup. Here's what you'll need.
They were also saying that they could see this video on YouTube on how to set up the equipment. So that's done. So let's talk to Tens Flats basement. Okay. All right. So you want to make sure when you place the tens for a reading for a biofeedback, I'm going to go stop this share for a second. Can you see me live? I'm going to show you where to place the tens now. Okay, so we have the hardware set up as we showed earlier. Yes, you can see me great. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you guys so much for your patience and understanding you and your kind words. I really, truly appreciate it. So we're going to take the tens pads and we're going to place them on Susanna on either side of her abdomen at the level of her belly button. Sorry, they're a little bit cold. So because we want to do a general reading of her body, we're putting the tens pads on the other side of her abdomen. If we wanted to get a reading on other parts of her bodies, that's what the slide is for. Thank you. Thank you guys so much, really. I'm going to go back to sharing this screen. Okay, so as you can see, the closer together the tens pads are, the better the reading will be, the more accurate the reading will be. So you can see if it's on your knee. If I'm working on the meniscus, I would put them, I actually use lasers for the meniscus. I haven't actually done a biofeedback on particular body parts. I've done it on the shoulder before with one pad on the front, one pad on the back. So you want to make sure that your tens are, never place the tens above the neckline. So if you're doing a reading for heart, eyes, thyroid, you don't want them on the heart area either. You're going to put them on the back side of your shoulders. For any issues with genitalia area, you're going to place the tens on each of the inner thighs. So each side of the inner thighs. To work on thyroid and brain, you're also going to place the tens on the back of the shoulders. The reading is more accurate the closer together they are. So for a general scan, place the tens on either side of the abdomen. Once you have the scan results, you can then run them on full body. You can put them on the outer right wrist and the outer left ankle. It's important not to put them on the joints themselves. Okay, so now we'll do the Spooky2 software. I'm gonna load that up. Mhm. This might be tricky because that's multiple screens for me. I have to close to find it. Here we go. Where are you, Spooky? Okay, guys, I'm just opening up the Spooky software and then we'll share that. Okay, I'm still here. I was like, did I hang up? Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to share the Spooky screen here. Well, as soon as it starts loading up. All right, you can see now the application. I'm sharing my screen. It's loading up. You can't see me though. Okay. All right, guys, I'm opening the chat. You can see me. Yes, everything is clear now. Excellent. And now I believe you can see my screen. All right, so here we go. We're going to start the biofeedback scan. We'll go to biofeedback. Press the greenhouse. You want to get to your first page here. We are going to click on biofeedback. Here you see the generator X, which is the one that we're using today. The sample digitizer, which I'll speak to momentarily. The scalar digitizer, which we talked about already.
Joanne, I'm sorry. Yeah. For my interface, now I can see the loading page, loading encyclopedia.
Okay, I don't know why it's not showing you.
Yeah, you can share, you can stop share and then share again. Stop share and share again, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
There.
Yeah, it's okay. Now I can see the software part.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it seems like I'm in Costa Rica, so we have very slow internet. Everything is at a much slower pace here. So my apologies. I don't know why the computer's being slow, but I think that's just my karma today. So we're gonna do the biofeedback scan now. So we'll go to the greenhouse. That'll take us to the main menu here. And we're gonna click on the first item, biofeedback. Here you see the 4 types of scans that we can do with the biofeedback. And today, for all intents and purposes, at the moment, we're doing the generator X. So we're going to go over the scan and run, refine programs. This is for optimizing the hunt and kill. We're going to go over that as well. The high frequency biofeedback scan is a longer scan that will be more thorough. We're going to talk about the grade scan. Then you have a general biofeedback scan with baseline, general biofeedback scan. I don't use either of those. Most often I am using the fast biofeedback scan, a grade scan, hunt and kill, refine programs, and scan and run occasionally. So we're going to go with the fast biofeedback scan. You can see too, when you click on the items in this menu over here in notes, you can see that there is some information about all of those scans there too. But so we're going to go to fast biofeedback scan. You want to make sure down here in this bottom middle window, presets and change that the program is added there. So from our presets tab, we're going to move over to our control tab, and we're going to go ahead and overwrite generator 1. This is where we are going to be doing. There we go. It's loaded there. You can see up here at the top, generator 11, which on my generator, it shows port 11 is generator 1. So I know that is generator 1 where I'm connected. Okay, so in this window, I'm gonna go ahead. We're just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna quickly make some adjustments. I'm gonna speak about the adjustments after because the scan takes a little bit of time to run. I'm gonna be running it on myself because I had to release Susanna. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit scan. So now it's loading the generator, and I'll speak to these other little windows here that we have. So let's get this up out of the way. All right, so what I didn't do, what I normally do, is in this box here, it says biofeedback scan, just under the ±1 hertz there. This is where it says log, is where I would normally put the name of the person that we're doing the scan on, and also what part of the body we're doing the scan on. The computer itself, the program will add that it's a biofeedback scan and will also add today's date, including the month and year. So the frequency scans on the Gen X, this fast biofeedback scan, start frequency is 41,000 hertz, and the finished frequency is 1.8 million hertz. So you can see over here to the right, where we see general output here, that the frequencies are running, and output 1 it's at 54,000 already. Output 2 is actually the same, but you have a sine wave and then an inverse sine wave. So what I did in the detect area here, we want max, yes, and then I clicked angle plus current. So you can talk to that too. Current is the flow, it's the amount of current that's flowing through the body, and the angle measure is the way they describe it is if you're walking with a child across a flat surface, they're going to stay at your side. But as soon as that terrain starts to get bumpy, they're going to fall behind a little bit. And that's how you measure. That's what we're measuring there, is that time and distance between the terrain and what's falling behind. Okay, so then we have down here after scan. We're not going to use that for this biofeedback scan, but when we do our hunt and kill, we can actually go ahead and run hits, and we can choose which generator we want to run the hits on. Okay, I'm back over here at the biofeedback scan. So it's putting 41,000 to 1.8 million hertz it through your body, right? Initial step, we're not going to touch those buttons at all. Max hits defined. Sometimes if I have a shorter session with someone, I will reduce this to 5 hits, and that will run in 15 minutes. 10 hits will run about half an hour because each hit is between 3 and 5 minutes. Sample loops, I don't change sample. I don't do step or sample loops. Start delay, sometimes I'll change this. This is the time between when the program actually starts reading the biofeedback. And so, you know, if you know that you have somebody that loves to chat a lot, then maybe you'll put a little bit more time in here. If you know somebody's just going to lay down and just rest, then you can put less time in there, like 30 or 60 seconds or beats. And then after that time, it gives them a moment to like settle in, and then the reading will be more refined. The min read, oh, this is something, if your biofeedback seems to be taking a really long time, you can change, you can reduce this number here, and it will speed up this biofeedback. So threshold right now is 0. I like to actually change threshold to 1 because it makes for a more accurate reading as well. We're not looking at BPM or HRV right now. That's heart rate variability and beats per minute, because we're not using the Spooky Pulse yet. And we're only 3 minutes into this program. So while that's happening, I'm going to go back to the presentation so that we don't sit here for 6 minutes and continue. Let's see, I'm going to continue the presentation. I hope you're still seeing my screen share over there. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're seeing that or not. Let's see. Where's my presentation? Okay. So let's get on with the presentation here. Where were we? I had lost my presentation, of course. Okay, so we just are going over the biofeedback software right now. Let's make sure I'm sharing the correct screen. Here we go. Okay. So while that is running, it will come up shortly, but while it is running now, we're going to go through, go back to the slides here. All right. So the sample digitizer. Let's see, the sample digitizer. This is, I'm looking for my notes, but I'm just going to talk because actually I've done this before and I know how it works. So the sample digitizer is what you're going to use for biological samples. So this is actually really good if someone is quite sick with the virus or, upset stomach or diarrhea or anything like, a fever or something that they can't get rid of that's kind of been like a lingering cough or something like that. Then you're going to want to use the slides for a biological sample. And you can use saliva, you can use blood, you can use pretty much any biological fluid. So that could be a tear, it could be urine, it could be discharge, or even semen. You can do biofeedback on. And so what's really great about doing a sample digitizer scan is that you don't have to be attached to the machine. So you can actually move about and go about your day. And all the while, we're running a hunt and kill program on the sample digitizer. So the program is going in, it's searching the sample for pathogens, bacteria, viruses, parasites, and it's going to immediately apply the frequency to annihilate that frequency. The sample digitizer scan is going to shut down all other generators and it's going to run for 24 to 48 hours. It is going to continue running until it can no longer find a pathogen or it dries up. And then you'll have to do a new sample. So, and that's okay to do too. You can do a new sample afterwards if you like, just to get to the next layer of the onion. And then there's a pulse scan. So the pulse scan is actually speaking to, you're going to clip, there's an ear clip that you can put on your ear, or there's a finger clip that you put on your finger. We don't recommend using the ear clip if you have earring holes in your ears. It's better to use the finger clip. And you're going to plug the blue cable into the computer, that little square, the Spooky2 pulse reader. The green light is going to be on and the red light is going to flash, and that's how you know it's working correctly. And then the other part of the cable inserts into the other part of that little Spooky2 unit. So what's happening now is that the computer is putting the programs through the frequency through your body and measuring your physical reaction or your heart rate reaction. So it's going to see what frequencies are making the loudest sound in your body, and it's going to store those. Pulse scan is a really great way to grade scans as well. Okay. Ooh, so there we go. That pop, that sound that you found was actually the scan results that have just popped up here. So let me go back to my screen sharing. And we'll go over here. Okay, so let's see if we can share this screen. Just the screen I want to share. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so here we have this screen, and then the scan results has just popped up here. These are all of the frequencies that were found in the biofeedback scan. If we want to reverse look them up, we can do that. Well, why don't we do that anyway, since we're already here? And let's include the harmonics here and go. So you might as well reverse look that up. In the meantime, you're going to save this program. I found that my program slows down substantially when I'm doing a reverse lookup. And that is also something that you can do later if you don't have time to do the reverse lookup. So we'll go over that as well. So this is going to be, we're calling this Susanna abdomen. There we go. And you can see it says BFB, biofeedback, 2025-02-12. That's our date. I guess it's the 13th in China, or the 11th. All right, so here is where we're finding the matches in the database. And then here is where, when we clicked, so after the biofeedback popped up, we saved it. And this, after we pressed this, wow, my gosh, where's my plug? Okay, so we're saving it here. Susanna abdomen, because we didn't put the name in the log, we're putting it here now, and then we're just gonna go over here to the right and hit save. Are you sure you wanna save and exit? Yes, we're gonna save that. So here you can see it's still searching the database. And I'll show you how to reverse look it up here too. So let's say if we wanna run the scan, we're gonna go back to the main greenhouse there on the presets page. We're going to hit the shell empty presets, and we're going to do a contact. We're going to apply the biofeedback by contact. So we're going to choose the universal square H-bomb, because we're killing. Biofeedback isn't looking at healing anything. It's looking for the pathogens that it wants to kill. Here on this page, it's on the programs page, which is right next to the presets page. So we went universal H-bomb. Okay, great. Now we need to load a program because we chose the empty shell preset. If you go over here to the right of this page, you'll see databases, and you'll see there are a number of different databases here. You can unclick all of them. Sorry, if you do the minus button, you can unclick all of them. Okay, it's very slow. Yep. There we go. So we've unclicked all of them, and we're just going to click now BFB, which is all of the biofeedbacks. You should find your scan at the very bottom, Susanna's abdomen. If you can't, you can put Susanna in here and it will come up. And, or if you cannot find it there, you can also go to the database up here, up in the top left corner, database, and refresh the database, and then it will show up there. So we have different types of databases, like this, the alt database and alternative database for Ayurvedic knowledge. So phagio and planetary frequencies. We have bio, which is also Russian frequencies. We have custom. So the custom ones will be custom programs that you end up designing and saving in the control panel, or sorry, in the programs panel when you're adding your programs. If you put something together for someone that was very effective, you can save it here, and that's going to show up in your customs program. The DNA database, that's going to be all of the frequencies that are related to your DNA, DTFL, yep, from bioresidence clinics across the globe. HC is Hulda Clark. Hulda Clark found Fasciola busci, which is a bacteria that she found was associated with several different types of cancers. And she had something called the ZAP, which is quite like a Rife machine as well. The Hertz database, the MW, we have proven, PRV is the proven database. We have the Royal Raymond Rife database. We have the Russian database. And the SD database, I'm not really sure, but we're going to use all of these databases. Okay, so let's get back to the presentation. Now we have, down here we have the reverse lookup. So we'll get back to that in a moment. We're going to share. Too many things going on here. All right. So let's go back here, and then we'll get closer to the end of this presentation. We'll talk to the reverse lookup. Okay. So a scan and run is basically a scan. It's a biofeedback scan, and then where we choose that we want to run the scan right away, where I showed you in that bottom middle window. Hunt and kill, that's with the sampler, the digital sampler. That's going to continuously refine the results. And again, it's going to stop automatically when no hits are found or if the sample dries up. Okay, and then you have the grade scan. The grade scan is what's going to allow you to let's see, my notes. The grade scan is basically going to look for, what we do with the grade scan is we take an empty shell preset and we select. So I'll show you how to do that as well here. Obviously the GX Pro is the basis for all scans. Sample digitizer, 48-hour run, scaler. Oh, we already looked at this slide, guys. I don't know if you could hear me then either. All right, so then scan and run. Oh, it's not showing the video. Anyways, okay, so scan and run. So scan and run is basically any time that you run a biofeedback scan on killing, or a scan and run, hunt and kill, anytime you're running biofeedback, you want to make sure that you're also running detox maintenance, because you've done the 11-day terrain detox before you've done the scan. And so after the scan, you want to make sure you're doing the detox maintenance, because we're going to start hitting things are going to start dying off, and then we're going to potentially have a Herxheimer effect. We want to make sure we're drinking extra water and really taking care of ourselves and realize that we're detoxing. And then we have hunt and kill. She kind of went over that a little bit. What's great about hunt and kill, like I said, is that you don't need to load it into a preset. Everything's already set for you. You just select biofeedback, generator X, hunt and kill, and then go straight to the control tab and click overwrite generator and select your generator. Make sure that the TENS cable is connected directly to output 1 on the generator without a boost when we do biofeedback. All right. the scan button. So for hunt and kill, let me go back to my other screen here so I can explain this better. So if we are doing hunt and kill on the generator X, this is where we're going to load generator 1. I still have the 10s on there. Change to current angle. We're going to call this hunt and kill. Actually, this is what we're going to, we would actually, I use hunt and kill mainly for the sample digitizer. So we're going to do hunt and kill for the sample digitizer. You can see the preset chain down here. And then you're going to go over here and see we have the sample digitizer on number 1, and then we're going to, on generator 2, we're going to connect the remote generator with the fingernail sample. And you're going to hit scan. Just let me make sure that I'm not getting hunted. Okay, so you can see as it starts to do the scan, all the other generators are going to pause out. So I'm just going to stop that. I just want to show you that for an example of doing the hunt and kill. We already talked about the grade scan. Basically, the grade scan gives you a unique way to rapidly evaluate pathogens, program frequencies for effectiveness against any condition, identifying those that will be the most beneficial for you. So it actually grades it from the strongest to the least strong. It doesn't work with healing or detox programs, the grade scan. When you identify which individual frequencies in a single program will work, because you're going to load up a empty shell preset for this, and which ones don't work. You can then eliminate the least effective ones and choose the ones that are going to be the most effective on your body. And then for the optimized scan, this creates repeated scans. It doesn't repeat scans. It's good to repeat scans as much as necessary. The program can report how big of a stress that the frequencies are on your body. Serious pathogens hide out and can build biofilms. That's why continuously running biofeedback scans is important. And I like to run a biofilm program when parasites are suspected. I always run the detox maintenance when running the biofeedback programs. So the optimized scan is going to be, I'll show you that. All right, so biofeedback generator X, refine programs. It's actually how you're going to optimize the scan. So you're going to go print like a shell empty preset, and then load the biofeedback. Okay, and then you're gonna control, overwrite your generator, and you're gonna hit scan to refine and optimize the program. We're not gonna run through all of that today because I still have some more slides here to show you. My goodness. Okay, I think our next slide is running the biofeedback program. Right, so running the biofeedback program, we're gonna do that right away here. So the technology is designed to help people understand their health better by identifying the frequencies that may be affecting their well-being. Biofeedback works by transmitting specific frequency through. So did we already go? I'm sorry, we already did this slide, didn't we? we've loaded the biofeedback onto generator 1. We are going to run on contact the biofeedback. And so what we need to do before we run on contact is we need to get a spooky boost. This is a spooky boost that's going to help buffer the signals. There is high power, which is going to be very strong, and then the colloidal silver part here on the right, which is this one here, which is going to be much more manageable. So that's the port that we're going to attach the TENS cables to, and then that's going to go back on to the generator 1, and now we can run the generator on contact. If we would like to run the generator on remote, then when we load the program in the presets tab, for the shell empty preset, we're going to choose remote instead of contact. And we're going to run the universal as great as on that as well. And how we're going to do that is without actually remove the pens. And we get a spooky remote boost here. This is a spooky remote. And we have a sample of Susanna's fingernail inside this little sticker. We're going to enter that. Because the keratin encases your DNA, that's going to go actually on the left, the bottom left hand side. By entanglement, we can apply the frequency to the fingernail, to the DNA that's encased in the keratin of your fingernail, and that will automatically be implemented on your own DNA. Okay, guys, reverse lookup. Reverse lookup gives you an idea of what could be going on in your body and can confirm what you might already know. You just have to keep in mind that diagnosis is only valuable for doctors and health professionals to look up what type of prescription or treatments to prescribe. It's only human nature for us to be so curious about what is found in our body. But the truth is, once those frequencies are registered and refined, they can then be implemented. And it's also, so it is the diagnosis and the prescription all in one time. So we're actually applying the frequencies. So the reverse lookup is a stepping stone. Or needing to know what's in your reverse lookup is almost like looking outside of yourself for healing. So the generator X can ask the body what frequencies it needs and provides the prescription written by your own body. All right, guys. I hope that you struggled through this okay. This is a question and answer period. I wanted to mention that pets, the sample digitizer is amazing for pets. That's how you run things on your pets, and that we don't really do remote treatments on children or kids under 5. So let me look here at the questions, guys. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen as well. Actually, I have one more slide for you in case you need to contact me and need any help. I promise you, I'm a much better teacher than it seems through this this webinar. So thank you so much, all of you, for your efforts. And I know it's already past 8 o'clock, so we're finishing up, but I'm gonna go through these questions here. Thank you, Helma. Okay, here's the question. Has anyone ran biofeedback and done the reverse lookup and it only gives information on one of the free? Yes, I have done that. And let me just quickly show you here with this frequency, or not here, but when you do the reverse lookup in that case, you're gonna do the reverse lookup here. And what I like to do is you wanna include the harmonics, and that will give you many more, or include the subharmonics, and that will also give you many more. And you also just want to make sure that you have all of your databases clicked when you do the biofeedback, and also when you do the reverse lookup, so that it will be looking for all of those All right, I'm going to stop the screen sharing and look at the QAs with you guys. Technology, right? Okay, so we have some anonymous attendees. So why do I get a lot of previous biofeedback ailments or not too many? I'm sorry, I'm not really sure I understand this question. This, the Spooky2 support will give you plenty of help in any department that I'm unable to answer. I'm going to put just quickly in the chat here, there's a discount code that Spooky has given us. I don't know where to put it. The chat. I thought I could type in the chat, but here we go. Here we go. All right, so the coupon code is Joanne 0213, and that will give you 15% off at the Spooky Mall website. There we go. So to press enter and it will go. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you guys really so much. I know how confusing these videos are, and I wanted to make mine so clear, and so I'm very disappointed that it was not great, but I'll get over it. Okay, second question. When biofeedback scalar scans identifies a frequency, how is it different from the pure scalar absorbing a frequency it needs? I'm not that familiar. So I think that the Spooky2 team will have to answer that one for you guys. I don't have the scalar. I've worked with it a little bit and I really love it and wish that I did have it, but I don't have it at the moment. Can full biofeedback scans be done with the tube, or is it meant to be done in remote TENS? Yes, so we cannot do biofeedback with plasma. We can apply biofeedback with the plasma, but we can't actually do a scan with the plasma. You need a digitizer. So you can do it with scalar, with the little sample digitizer, TENS, wands, and then you can run that on the plasma. Once you have the biofeedback, you can run it on the plasma. Okay, how many inches to left and right of the belly button for the scan? So it's either side of the abdomen. So we're doing a full body scan. If I was scanning the gut, I would actually put one on the stomach and one on the ascending colon, sorry. So I would have one on the gut area here and one on the colon there. If you're gonna do liver, you do that right on the liver. You go one on the front, one on the back of the liver. So that general scan, they're just on either side of the abdomen at belly button level. But the closer they are together, the more, the more accurate they'll be. Retrolethesis at L5, I assume I place directly on either side of that area. Yes, I wouldn't put it on the articulation itself, but on either side of your spine for the L4. Okay, this is Monica Go. I don't know if you guys are still even here. What do the colored red represent on the TENS pads? Okay, so the red and black cables don't actually, normally they're like neutral and positive or AC, DC, but with the TENS pads, they're both the same. They don't actually represent anything except to help keep them apart, I guess. All right, I was wondering where the TENS pad should go for sore left hip. So I would put the TENS pads for the left hip, Carol, on front and the back of the hip joint. Or depending where you're feeling more pain, if you're feeling more pain in the groin area, then on the groin and the outer hip. Okay, do you have to stop the other generators while I scan? They said in some of the programs, Betty, that in some of the trainings that you have to stop the other scans to run a biofeedback, but the program itself now, with the program we have today, it will automatically pause all of the other programs and they will resume automatically once the biofeedback is finished. How do I add my results of the scan into a program? Some programs like Mold Sweep has the end a slot for my scan results, but how do I add that? Okay, I can do a demo of that here. Let's get you back on my program screen. All right, so let's see, we're doing a contact. Oh, where's the mold sweep? Oh, right, like the cancer protocol or the Lyme's protocol. Lyme's or Jones, let's see. Yeah, when you start to run these, oh, this isn't one. But anyways, well, all you have to do is down here, when you start to load programs, well, let me just do a shell energy preset here. Contact, so I can show you. Let's do healing and let's do back pain. All right, so we're gonna add, we want to treat back pain, low back pain. You know, you do want to do your mold sweep and you're like, oh, it says here, it's this, let's just say this is the, it says add your biofeedback here. So you can basically, you can just double click on it on the program and it deletes. We're gonna run fibromyalgia and then we just add the biofeedback. Let's say it's for Susanna. You just add that. You would delete where it says add your program here and then just go ahead and add your program here. So I hope that helps. All right, there's a lot of questions, so let me just breeze through those. Okay, how does threshold affect accuracy? What is the threshold of? That's such a really good question. And I do have the answer to that in the notes. I'm not going to waste your time looking through my notes right now. But threshold does increase the accuracy. I usually just increase it by 1 from 0 to 1. Is the abdomen the best place for a general scan? Yes. For thyroid, is placing them on the upper back. Best placement. Yeah, I place them here on either side of the shoulders for thyroid. How often is a baseline required? I don't use a baseline. I did in the beginning. I found that it made the programs really long. And I also believe that the software has improved, and I don't believe that the baseline is necessarily necessary. Is there a reason why biofeedback does not cover below 48,000? That's a very good question as well that I unfortunately cannot answer for you, but the Spooky team will be quite happy to answer that. Can you be on your cell phone while treating on Spooky? You definitely don't want to have your cell phone. That's one of the things that I wanted to mention. When you're running the biofeedback, it's really important to make sure that your cell phone's not on you, that there's no other electronic equipment in the space where the person is having the biofeedback. You want to make sure they're not wearing an Oura ring or an Apple Watch or a heart monitor watch. And even some hearing aids have Bluetooth capabilities. So you want to make sure they don't have any of those things on. Why do tens or cylinders of biofeedback can be done with a biological sample? That's a great question, Rachel. Because when you run a biological sample, you cannot do anything else for 48 hours. When you run a biofeedback, it takes 10 minutes and you can load it and run it, and you can also run other programs all day long. So I think that might be the major reason. Which body fluids are best for sample digitizing, treating cancer, hunt and kill, for example? I honestly think blood would be the best. Blood is the best. Saliva more for, I think, anything happening in the head, throat, lung area, but otherwise blood. I've run the sample digitizer for 3 days and it didn't even knock up a single frequency from the biofeedback. That's very interesting because it shouldn't be repeating any frequencies, Ryan. When we do the biofeedback, I usually run you run it on a remote. So you're running the sample digitizer, and then you want to make sure that you're actually applying the frequencies to the fingernail in another remote generator. I did have a video for that, but I wasn't able to upload it today due to my technical difficulties. So biofeedback digitizer, if it stops, do you mean two generators are running? One identifies something, then it stops the other generator. It doesn't actually stop. It'll just continuously run and then apply the frequencies. Sometimes it does. It will stop for a minute, like pause, but it will just continually scan and run and scan and run and scan and run. Joseph, so what do you do? Oh yeah, that we answered. Anonymous. When you put your blood in it and it begins to run, if you have a reverse lookup right away before it has a chance to analyze the blood, and then the same hits come up after the scan has run 24 hours. Just curious how to analyze each situation. That's a thing. I know we're these creatures, we want to analyze and break everything down, but the truth is we just have to trust and surrender that the machine is finding the frequency and applying the frequency, that we don't even have to put our energy into that. We can just focus on healing. We don't have to actually name something and carry it around with us like a puppy, you know? When you put your blood in, it begins to run. Analyze the situation. There were a few differences, but one was snake venom, which kind of made me giggle. Snake venom probably made you giggle, but it could be in some of the vaccines. So, and also in remdesivir, I think it's also has some snake venom in it. I'm not a doctor. I don't know much about this, but I have seen snake venom come up on people that have been vaccinated with COVID. Including harmonics in reverse lookup means what? It just means you're going to get more matches to that frequency. So it's not just, it's finding the frequency. The harmonic is the frequencies that kind of go above and below that. So it's actually looking also at the frequencies too to pinpoint what it could be. Mary, where do you plug the digitizer Gen X? Yes, so I normally always into output 1, and I don't use the boost for the digitizer, but I do use the boost to run the programs on the fingernail. Cameron, after doing scalar biofeedback, I'm having a problem using or doing plasma treatment. What happens even after many shutdown reboots and unplugging everything multiple times? Okay, scalar biofeedback continues when I hit start to begin my plasma treatment, which of course makes no sense on COVID. All right, so one of the major things about, you'll find this if you have plasma, that the central generator or the plasma itself will knock out some of your other generators. So you want to make sure that all of your equipment is to the left of the generator. So you have the central generator, and then you want to have the GX that's running, or the generator pro that's running the central generator. You want to have that to the left, at least a meter away. And also you want to make sure that generator is also at least a meter away from the plasma bulb. That happened to me many times, Cameron. April, universal H bomb is just like the most powerful killing machine. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I'm a great pilot, but not much of an engineer. Robert, biofeedback only finding pathogens, couldn't it also be finding damaged tissues, energetic? Yes, absolutely. It can be finding, it's finding dysresonance in your body. And it's interesting that you mentioned that it could be finding tissues and things like that, because sometimes you see the same frequencies coming up for multiple people all the time. And that's because some of those frequencies are actually the cell wall, or a piece of something that every other bacteria has. So yeah, there is some refining and grading to do to really pinpoint what you're looking for. Please review saving, as I never saw any of this on the screen. Oh, okay. I don't know if you're still there, Rachel, but I can do that. All right, so sorry. Let's save a program for you here. Let me see if I can share my screen again. All those little screens have now disappeared. Here we go. Where is it? There it is. All right, let's save and reverse look up the scan. All right, so. Okay, so when the scan sign pops up, it pops up right in the middle here of the screen. And I'm going to show you with this. It's going to list the frequencies with the little tickers. And over here on the right, top right side is a little, it looks like an old disc, and that's our save button. So that's going to be the save button with anything we're working with. So for example, if I want to build a program, it's going to be remote, and I'm going to run a biofeedback. So I'm going to use universal square H-bomb. We're going to put the biofeedback in there, but let's just say Susanna also has Candida. And so I want to add some Candida programs to this. Let's say I know which Candida it is, or it's just candidiasis. We're going to add that. And so if I want to save this program here, again, you're just going to hit that full file button and name the program there, Susanna's biofeedback scan with candidiasis, and save. Okay, so let's say you didn't get a chance to do the reverse lookup.
An error has been detected.
Of course. Let's say you haven't had a chance to do the reverse lookup, so you want to do that now. I like to open an empty shell preset, maybe choose plasma. If I'm running biofeedback on plasma, I'm definitely choosing killing. So let's use somebody else. Let's use this. So you can see it's a program that I built with Lori's biofeedback for endometriosis. Endometriosis has some parasites associated with it, so I added those also to her program. These are some other bacteria and things that are found with endo. And then you just save that program. So let's just say, I don't want that program because we're going to do a reverse lookup with one of these. Let's say we want to reverse, here's Madeline's biofeedback. We want to reverse look up her biofeedback. So we'll load it as if we're going to run the program. Okay. And we want to reverse look it up. So we're just going to go over here. I don't need the subharmonics, but I will include the harmonics. And see here is like 0. This is usually 0.025, I believe. Just going to go. And then it's going to go ahead and find those matches for the database. Okay, let me get back here. Sleep well, guys. So we save the biofeedback scan and run it later. Yeah, absolutely. Does it scan again or run frequencies to match what it found in the first scan? No, you just load the program like I've done here and allow it to run, and it will run the biofeedback scan. All right, let's see what other questions we have here. Does universal kill intestinal microbes that are beneficial? That's a really great answer, Mary, about killing beneficial microbes. Yes, it will kill. You don't have to worry about killing any beneficial microbes because your beneficial microbes are not. If you're not well and you know you have stomach bacteria or parasite, that parasite and those bacteria are going to be the loudest thing in your body. And you know, there is a sequence. You know, you might have parasites, and you might never be able to get rid of them because there's a virus, and then that it's actually parasiting a bacteria that is parasiting a virus. And so you're not getting rid of the parasite because you still have the virus and the bacteria. So before you even get to parasites, and then cells after that, you know, before you even get to parasites, you've got to get rid of and attack the viruses, and then the bacteria, and then the parasites. Is there a problem leaving all database options checked all the time? No, absolutely not. I always have them checked all the time. How long should it take to reduce the frequencies found on the biofeedback hunt and kill using the digitizer? Using the digitizer usually takes 24, oops, where did my screen go? 24 to 48 hours, or until the sample is dried up. How accurate is biofeedback scan, and what affects the results of the biofeedback scan? Right, so not doing the terrain ahead of time is going to affect the scan. You're going to get just common bacteria that are found in everyone, like a lot of staph and strep and enterobacter. And then but you can analyze the scan and refine the scan, and then you can get a more pinpointed idea of what you found in there. Nadine, what's the best way to deal with PET scans? I like to either take a little bit of saliva or a little bit of their nail and run anything you need to run on them. You can do on their biological sample, but so you can run the biofeedback on the biological sample, and then it will kill whatever it is. So it's not going to list the frequencies it's found, so you're not going to be able to do a reverse lookup with that. How sure are we the frequency we found are okay to be run? And should we run biofeedback with healing on empty preset or killing? Biofeedback should be run on universal H-bomb or killing if you're using plasma, because the biofeedback is really just looking for the offenders. And these are going to be things that are living inside of your microbiome, inside your terrain. April, if you have 4 generators with 2 separate devices and are running biofeedback on the sample digitizer and hunt and kill in a continuous loop, can you also run detox maintenance? No, no, unfortunately. And that's a really good question, April, because you do need to detox. But because the program is only 24 to 48 hours, then it will stop and you'll be able to have another generator running, so that when it stops, it's automatically running a detox maintenance program, because it will automatically start the other programs that it's paused when you're running the hunt and kill. So for plasma, Jeremy, hunt and kill, you would go to your presets tab, go to empty pre-shells, shell preset at the bottom, go to plasma. If you're running a biofeedback, I like to use Spooky Plasma Advanced actually for the biofeedback. And then, oh, there's a reverse lookup that we just looked up and that we added a little bit of things to. So as you can see, there's like multiple things resonating with one frequency. And so it's not a good idea to show this to people. You really need to refine it and have an idea of what's going on. The only way to really tell, look at that latex allergy, yeah, hot flashes, oh, I'm getting all that. Anyways, it's a little tricky to tell what is what, because you don't have everything that's in this list. You only have one thing, and those multiple things are resonating with it. Okay, I hope that answers that question. I've read the numbers after the frequency results indicate how strong of a hit they are, how relevant they are for treatment. Can you speak to that? So you have, usually I think it's the current and the angle. When the reverse lookup comes up and you see the frequency there, it's the current and angle. I'm trying to see if I can show you that. Let's see. Well, that's not working because I haven't added it. So it's a good little example. Right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really have a really straight answer for that. I know sometimes this half is the current, the other half is the angle when you have really large frequency, but that's not the case here. Joanne Lake, can you share how long samples are viable for when you use the dish? It depends. It could be 24 to 48 hours until the sample dries up, because it will eventually dry up and that will just stop the program from running. How can I transfer results from one PC to another? Yes, I know I have lots of questions. Thanks, Robert. To transfer from one to the other, you need to save the program and then just email yourself the program. I think you can just open your email and attach the program and send it to the other PC. I haven't done that, so I'm not 100% sure. Again, the other question was, when you run the sample digitizer, can you just hit hunt and kill, then it runs on the digitizer? An old video showed you need to run the digitizer on one, but the program on another. That's a really good question, Megan, because the very first time that I used the sample digitizer, I did not apply it to a fingernail. I just allowed, because it does run the hunt and kill right on the sample. And so I didn't use it the first time, and it was very effective. Now I do use it because I thought, oh, maybe I was missing something, even though it was very effective. So that's something we're definitely going to have to get clarified. Michael, where would you put the TENS pads for prostate? I would put the TENS pads in the inner thighs, as close to your genitals as possible, just on the inner thighs. So on the actual top of your legs, on your inner thighs. Shauna, I've noticed that when I load the software on my XM generator that it states the top, it's in test mode. Okay, that just means that the generator is not communicating with your computer. So you may have to rescan devices, and you do that under the utils tab, rescan for devices. It's usually in test mode when it doesn't find the generator. So you may have to close the application, test your connections, and then restart the application. Matt, can I run scan and run remotely and hunt and kill with the sample digitizer at the same time? No, because scan and run, you can run remotely, absolutely. That's basically just, you know, it's something, yeah, that you'll scan and run. The sample digitizer hunt and kill program, they both actually stop it. They stop all the other generators. So no, you can only run one at a time. Susanna was my model who was here and who left because I think it was painful for her. For lack of periods, where should one place the TENS pads? I would place them on the uterus, so the lower, just above the pubic bone on either side. Ricardo, where's the best place to place the TENS pads to teeth? Yeah, I just answered that. Oh, that's also enlarged prostate would be the same thing, just inside the inner thighs, close to your groin as possible, but not touching your genitalia. Robert, after the sample digitizer plates one off, throw away after you. No, the sample digitizer plates can be used multiple times if you're using them for the same person. You want to disinfect them. I like to clean them with colloidal silver and, well, first soap and water and then colloidal silver. And then I also, if I'm treating more people, then I will sometimes delegate the digitizer plates to one family only. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, you will use a new one for another individual, but you can reuse them for the same person. Lauren, after we scan, how long should we run to heal the founded frequencies? Okay, so so what you want to do, and you have a biofeedback. If you're going to run the biofeedback, Lauren, on with TENS, you're going to want to run it once in the morning and once in the evening for 3 to 4 days. If you're running it on plasma, then I would say run the frequencies twice a week. And then after that time period, you could do a new biofeedback and start the run again. Kathleen, thank you. You have an XM generator. Will biofeedback work with that? Absolutely. The XM generator will do a biofeedback for you. It's just a longer process. You want to make sure that the person is really laying still and at rest when they're doing it. So don't move around too much. Yes, you would scan your abdomen. The wrist and the ankle is actually to apply frequency throughout the whole body. And applying the TENS to the abdomen is more for the biofeedback itself, for the general biofeedback scan. William, do you ever lower the reverse lookup percentage? Yes, I do. I often go to 0.1, and because I want to get less frequencies, I'm trying to get there. And then I'll sometimes just go down to the bottom and hit the Analyze Plus button. And then you can actually it'll allow you to open and put a scan in and analyze that scan. Ran a biofeedback on my son, and reverse lookup came back with breast cancer frequency and ovary frequency. He does none of that. So it's just my understanding the reason a biofeedback is not used for medical diagnosis of or condition because that frequency and names are used in a treatment like ovary. Yeah, I know he definitely doesn't have. I'm certain he doesn't have ovaries either. But that one frequency that vibrates at that frequency, it could also match something else. That's why this is not. There's no way that you're going to really be able to detect it. I would say that if you see, those kinds of hits in your son's reading, then you know for sure that those aren't the frequencies that frequency is referring to. So that's going to help narrow down what it could be. Jeremy, you got partway through answering my hunt and kill plasma question, then started talking about biofeedback results. Can you please finish your answer? Yes, so you can't, what was the question? What was the question, Jeremy? Was it about biofeedback results? Right, because you can't do biofeedback. You can't do a hunt and kill with the biofeedback because the plasma doesn't have any, or sorry, you can run, right. So the hunt and kill is mainly for the digital sampler, as far as I know. I know that you can't do biofeedback with plasma, but you can absolutely run the biofeedback with plasma. The plasma is not going to be able to hunt and kill because it doesn't have the hunting capabilities. It has the killing capabilities. Does that answer your question? Charlona, how do I use frequencies from reverse lookup? Oh, good. John's answering the question. After biofeedback, e.g. using a remote to do killing, we need to put in the remote load the BFA scan result over at the generator. Is that correct steps? How long do we run the killings? Yes, that is correct. After you've done the biofeedback scan, you're going to want to add the booster to the remote and then plug the TENS into the booster to the colloidal silver port so that you don't injure the person and they can't feel it. And at that point, you're going to overwrite the generator and run the scan. And the length of time depends on how many hits that you're running. So 3 to 5 minutes per hit. What should one do if starting to have a red skin with using the TENS pad rub? I would use the wands. And also Spooky2, depending on the area that you're doing the biofeedback on. I'm actually not for the biofeedback, but for running the program, they have gloves and socks, and they have little cuffs to put on different areas of your body. So you can run biofeedback through those with the TENS cable. Yeah, the YouTubes are long reference for terrain. If you email me or shoot me a message, I actually have quite a few documents that I've created, and that's one of them, anonymous. I know who you are. April Galazzo, can Spooky correct bunions or does it just treat bunion pain? I would be guessing, and if I were to guess, I would say yes, it can correct bunions because it does help repair tissue. And I've also, perhaps with the ultrasound or ultrasonic wand, you could correct bunions because I've broken down fibroids and cysts with the ultrasonic wand using the frequency specific for those things. For calluses? Again, I think the ultrasonic wand, but you need the central generator, I believe, for that. Would be the best. I've had amazing results with plantar fasciitis, but with photobiomodulation, with the wrist lasers on the feet. Totally different than calluses and bunions. But those I would use the ultrasound. And maybe somebody else has a better answer. SJ, can I send a picture. I'm running a dual heel program, but the frequencies show up a lot different. Oh, good. John's answering you there. Thanks, guys. Can one hunt with tens, then kill with plasma using hunt and kill? Yes. Oh my gosh, Jeremy. Yeah. Let me see if I can demonstrate that for you. That makes sense. Let's see if I can share my screen. Do a demo. Okay. Okay, Jeremy, let's say we are doing a hunt and kill. So we're doing a biofeedback. Dinner one, we want to do a hunt and kill. I wonder, because you could just lay there, right? So when you go to, there it is in the preset chain. When you go to the control panel here, and you're going to load it into generator one, that will be where your biofeedback is, right? Where you're going to do the scan from. Here I would put hunt and kill, hunt kill scan, right? And over here, current and angle. Down here after scan, I have this little unit in the way. We're going to run hits. We continue refining hits. We're going to run on generator 12, which would be the second generator where you would have the plasma attached to, or whichever you would, obviously you wouldn't have the plasma attached to the JX, you would have it on the central, so you would have another generator to run it on. So yes, so let's say that was generator 6, then you would run on generator 6 and then go ahead and scan, and then it will begin the scan. And once it's finished the scan, it will then run the scan on your plasma. So I hope that helps. Brain tumor, that I would use the tens on either side of the shoulders, because that's going to be the closest that you can get to your head. And then I would run plasma for that. And I would just rest the plasma on my stomach or under the bed and run that. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you so, so much. Can you go to the control tab, please? I'm really hoping to learn the reverse lookup. Okay, let's do the reverse lookup for you here, Lori. Okay. All right, so I have a reverse lookup here, which we just reverse looked up. All right. This is the reverse lookup. This is the database match, right? So it matched this one here. 10, like 1039, da 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 da. All of these things that are listed here resonate with this frequency. You can see, I looked down like, oh, I also see that Candida showed up here. Maybe this is more something to do with yeast in my blood. Next frequency here, and these are all the things resonating with it. Oh, looks like there could be some staph or who knows what, maybe some chlamydia, but not necessarily. It's really hard to determine. Here you can see other things that are really difficult to really determine. You can see resonating again with some staph. These things are probably from any pharmaceuticals that have been taken in the past. Influenza, corneal disease, hot flashes. So all of these things are coming up. So let's save this. I'm going to show you how to refine it. Let's go. Let's save this. Let's save this reverse lookup. So we went over the biofeedback, how to run it, how to set it up, and there are a lot more intricacies and a lot more things that I really wanted to, a lot more really pertinent information that I wanted to get out there, but I was struggling with my technology. And so what I'd love to do is I'm going to make a video of the presentation again, and then I would love to share with each of you. That would be more comprehensive because I'll be able to manage it from my Apple. I'm a little bit having difficulties with the PC exchange here. It's been too many years that I've been working with Apple. And so thank you all so very, very much. There was so much that I didn't get a chance to cover, and you guys all had some really amazing questions, things that I'd like to know as well. So I look forward to sharing this presentation with you in a more comprehensive way. Thank you all so very much.